for folks who are out there, here, I'll name a name, Lance from the Serfs. He's on here all the time on the Power Panel, right? And he comes out and does this like video about how he's so correct and, oh yeah, the young Turks, correct?
What? Are you kidding me? Is this real life? Is this real life? I don't understand what's happening right now. I genuinely feel like I'm in the ring. I feel like I'm in a wrestling bit, and this whole thing was planned by everyone else, and I don't know what's going on. I have no idea. I was so nice. I have not stopped being nice. I think in my discussion of this today, I've praised you, your work, TYT, and Anna maybe like 16 times. I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna throw that number out there. 16. You know, maybe it's not right. Maybe it's 12. Maybe it's 8. I don't know. But God, I've done that over and over and over. God, holy shit, what is wrong? Great. Going on day number 2 of this shit. So, full disclosure, me and a bunch of the Leftist Mafia talk to each other a lot behind the scenes because we're all besties. It's just as cute as you imagine, alright? It's as cute as you probably think. It's true. And we're all... Well, Jamie Elizabeth out of nowhere. Lol. This one's newish. What's her deal these days? Well, 23 hours ago. I just want to say, Anna Kasparian, she is spitting.
It's bad faith.
Fire
they know.
In this video. She is so right. I cannot agree more. Anna, you are based. Listen to this shit.
It's bad faith. They know. They know.
Oh, Blair's here still. We are besties in this restaurant. I agree. I love y'all. It's so cute. And you know what? I'll add some wholesomeness to this entire thing because the segment's going to go a little bit, let's just say, dark. There's so much shit, especially online, and especially amongst online creators. And obviously, there's something, I remember when I interviewed Super Eyepatch Wolf, and he was like, when he met H Bomber Guy, he was like, there was just something in the way we connected and clicked in that, like, I could tell that he had been through a lot of unique lived experiences that not a lot of people would also be able to relate to, and that's true. There's like not a lot of other people who'd be able to relate to what it's like being someone who like produces, I guess, a leftist comedy, entertainment, political shit on the internet, and is blown up to a certain degree where they get like this amount of hatred and people who fuck with you and shit on you all the time, or people who want you to unalive yourself and that kind of stuff. So it's very wholesome to have like frenzies. That's one of the reasons why I'm constantly like trying to bring leftists together. Like people used to make this joke about how I was like collecting stones or something like that. I was like trying to be the one that united all the lefties online. But another really big reason is that like it's healthy. I think it's healthy that leftist creators promote each other, talk about each other, watch each other's clips, play each other's videos, support each other, because we don't have the corporate backing that the right does. There is no George Soros checks. There's no fucking... I don't get Koch brother fucking phone calls. I don't get like the emails I get for sponsorships is the most whack ass shit. It's like, do you want to promote this NFT that we've already stolen a whole bunch of your like fucking likeness and video clips and thumbnails and put on and registered as NFTs on the Ethereum blockchain? And now do you want to actually like fucking own this shit, Lance? Like, you motherfuckers, you just fucking stole me and my clips and my personality, and you put it on as an NFT. Well, fuck all of you, you fucking bastards. This is the sponsorships that I'm offered. Oh, okay. But it's nice. It's really nice having, you know, a whole bunch of besties. Like I love shooting the shit with Blair. I love talking shit behind the scenes because it's just like, it's healthy. It is healthy to get that stuff off your chest and have other people who support you because you're trying to do this. And honestly, I have very different approaches to criticizing people on the left than I do on the right. I have not stopped. I've like, you could probably do a super clip at this point of the amount of fucking caveats I've had to do with every one of these Anna segments. Like, I always start out with being like, I am not here to cancel Jenk. I am not here to cancel Anna. I am not here to cancel TYT. I don't want to do any of that shit. Along with every fucking TYT person who's been speaking out about this, you know? I see you. I've seen all of you. I've seen all the other TYT and allies and progressive creators, and like, there's a reason everyone is kind of universally like, why are you doing this. All of us are doing the Matrix meme. We're all Switch. Every single one of us. We're all there looking all like wounded and being like, not like this. Not like this. You know? That's what's going on here. At a certain point, like, I'll be honest with you, if I had 5% of other leftist creators, the amount, like 5% of what they've been getting, just 5% of them popping into my replies, being like, I love you, Lance, but this is not it. I would break it like 5%. At 5%, I would be like DMing people, being like, am I really off base here? Did I like, am I fucking, what's going, like, are you serious? And then like immediately have, you know, Blair or Mike or Lie to Me respond to me immediately. I'd be like, yeah, Lance, you're fucking up. You fucked up. I'm sorry, this is not it. You were wrong on this issue. Issue. You should issue a correction or delete or just whatever. But back the fuck down. Why are you doing this? Like, and then I would be like, you know. So to it getting this point, we've got like, you know, Jank putting me on blast, like, wait till I show you Jank's fucking timeline right now. His whole thing is him like quadrupling down on all of this shit. Like, you can be like, I'm ride or die for Anna. I love her. She's my co-host. She's an institution. She's one of the reasons why TYT is as big as it is, which is all truthful, all real. Like, those are all truthful facts. But I do disagree with her on this issue. There is no fucking evidence to the left advocating for the term woman to be removed and for women to only be called birthing person. It's a non-thing. It's not real. And the only people this benefits is anti-LGBTQ plus bigots. That's it. Those are the only people who benefit from this fucking shit. Is the anti-LGBTQ plus. Like, do you know how I know that? Because they're chiming. They're sounding off. They're in the replies. Like, Carrie Lake, E. Miles Chong, Matt Walsh. Matt Walsh. Like, is this not, like, the alarm bell should go off at that point? It's like, yeah, there's only one crowd benefiting from this. Happens to be the far-right fascists that we all hate. Yeah, all of us. The quartering, yeah, like all of them. Like, chats, list them. You can list them. I maybe there's some of them I don't know about, but fucking feral Tim Pool arrives. I don't know where a Tim Pool approaches. Tim Pool today responds to me, tweets out, and fucking, if that's not validation, you go, okay, I'm gonna start with this Tim Pool before we play Anarchist Brain. Right, I gotta scroll up for 1 second because this is nuts. If Tim fucking Pool is saying this shit, this should be the writing on the fucking wall. Right here. Jank, left-wing extremists help right-wing so much. 66% of this country is left-wing, according to polling on policy issues. They don't believe in defunding the police or being called Latinx or calling women birthing people or abolishing prisons. Anyone who claims they do is lying. Oh my God, Jank, please bring me on your show to debate this. I'd like, the numbers do not help you. They do not help you. This does, like, it's not true. This is a where are the leftists? Where are the trans activists demanding that cis women be called birthing people? Show me one. If there is one trans activist doing that, where they are saying cis women can no longer be called cis women, they have to be called birthing persons. Show me that. And then show me the receipts on this shit. Because if it doesn't exist, then this is a non-issue. How fucking privileged are you? Like, how wonderful is life if this is the fucking shit you have to worry about? If it's like, I have to draw a line. I know that every other leftist creator right now, every single fucking one is sounding off on this and being like, this ain't it. But I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This is my cause. This is the hill. This is it. This is my fucking cross to bear. I am willing to throw it online, my legacy and shit over this. Okay? And it's like, but that doesn't happen. That, like, no one's doing this. No one is. You know? It seems like Lance ratioed I didn't ratio Jank. Everyone did. All the leftists did. If I open this thread, if I click on this, it's gonna be a whole bunch of Emma Vigeland 2,805. Yeah. Like, on point. Trans leftists here. Not trying to say women have to call themselves birthing persons. Oh, well, we have evidence. We have an actual trans person who has said and stated it. Cenk, you are wrong. I'm sorry. The facts do not line up on this one. This is a non-issue. There is so much shit going on in the world right now. There's so much shit going on towards trans people right now. Shit is very fucking scary for trans people. Have you listened to them? Have you been seeing what trans people are saying? What they're screaming? What their accounts are posting? Like fucking all of our fucking favorite trans creators are very scared, are very afraid, and they're being very vocal about that. This is a very scary time for them. Yes, it is maybe not safe to speak about a handful of these issues in the same way it used to be, because shit is getting real. But it's when shit is getting real that we fucking make history. It's when shit is getting real that we have to be the ones to say, yeah, no, I am taking a stance. I am going to be on this side of the issue. I am going to push back against this. And I'm sorry, but this non-issue benefits one group and one group alone. And they are also being very vocal about this. Like, the writing is all over Twitter. Matt Walsh trying to fucking bridge the gap. Matt fucking Walsh is trying to bridge the gap right now. Is that not yikes? Is the alarm bells not going off? Would and this has to, I'm sorry, at this point I have to believe this is conscious. You have to know, you have to be aware of this. You can't be doing this kind of shit and then also be like, no one knows what is truly happening. You know, the leftists will pretend that they want us to say Latinx. The Latinx discourse, the fucking birthing person's discourse, all of these discourses, they only serve to benefit the people who are trying to oppress the marginalized. That's it. You know, if someone's like, you should be more inclusive and you should use a term like Latinx, and it's like, well, that seems odd. What are Latin people saying? Well, a lot of Latin people are saying Latinx is fine, but a lot of Latin people are also saying that this is not as important as, say, anti-Latin racism. Anti-Latin fucking acts of violence. That's more important than if you use the term Latinx, to be real, to be fair. And what I've seen, I'm not a cis woman, not going to mansplain, not going to speak over women. I'm going to say that the cis women in this conversation that I have seen, especially coming from the left, have universally been like, this is not a thing. I, as a woman, am not worried or afraid that my womanhood is going to be reduced or taken away by the existence of trans people and the inclusivity of a term like birthing person to be able to describe non-binary people who can give birth, as well as trans men. And I'm just saying this as a man, as a cis man, nothing's taken away from me, you know, by trans men existing. In fact, it makes the very fucking act of being a dude so much more interesting. It's so much cooler that trans men exist, all right? They're my fucking homies. It's fucking awesome. It makes this infinitely more interesting than I originally thought. The entire concept. Like, the more I learn about this stuff, the more fascinating it gets. Like any other topic, you know? Once you start learning about more gender theory and you start going down the rabbit hole, it's fucking, oh man, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. I was watching one of the Vlog Brothers yesterday because I was studying for the Tim Pool appearance, and I'm doing that notebook thing where I'm writing all these notes out, going off about how there are not two sexes and how modern science has so much more complexity than we ever previously thought, and on the Sci-Fi Show, and it was so fascinating. So going back to this part. So I said, and again, I'm being very friendly here. Birthing person is an inclusionary term for trans men and non-binary people who give birth. No one is saying women can't be called women, except for right-wingers who do not who do that to trans women. Those are the only people. Like that's the reality. This is the real fight. This is the struggle. Right-wingers actively say that trans women aren't women. It's right-wingers who are doing this. These are the problem. They're the ones who are denying trans women's existence. They're the ones who are denying women, the existence of women. They're the ones going after this shit. This is a right-wing problem that we need to fight and we need to push up against. It's the same thing, again, if someone was like, hey, did you know black women are women? Native women are women. They're all women. White women are women. There's many different forms of woman, many different ways woman can be. Woman is a many beautiful, splendid thing. Yes. And in the pursuit of knowing this, we can actually expand our understanding of this. And I also recognize that trans women are women. Trans women are not cis women. This is important because that's what makes them trans. That's why there is no trans woman telling the world that they're cis women. That's not happening because the math doesn't add up. By virtue of doing that, they would not exist. They are the first ones to say trans women are not cis women. Trans men are not cis men. That's what makes them trans. Tim Pool appears. No, actually, TYT is saying that. Unless, is TYT right wing? He was, by the way, appearing in enemy waters. this was uncharted territory. I assume because we followed each other, so I could DM him to get to the compound, right? So that's why we initially followed each other. So I guess now I pop up in his algorithm, and you don't normally have lefties popping up in your algorithm in your timeline, right? So when he does, he's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna sound off on this issue. I'm gonna say hello. He just like a wild Tim Pool appeared, and yeah, so many people just popped off in the comments because the algorithm is really, really heavily favored to me in this case. This is not like, it's not indicative of who is right and who is wrong based solely on ratios. Ratios are only funny. That's it. They're like, do not think ratios are activism. Do not think ratios are indicative of some kind of movement or like, you know, a cause. They're funny. They're funny. And they're reflective of a lot of different factors. And so when right-wingers get ratioed into the sun, it's funny. But also, it's showing you a very specific way the algorithm has shown thousands of other people our interaction, our fight. That's what it is. So because he sounds off on my comment, it suddenly, that'll appear on way more lefties' timelines, and they will want to respond to Tim Pool and get mad about that. That's what you're seeing, rather than simply it being. But that's why ratios are funny. They're funny. You know, they're hilarious. All right, I haven't caught up on Jenk. Before I do, I'm going to catch up on all of the posts. Let's play, again, Anna being so fucking right and based on this topic.
It's bad faith. They know there's a difference between gender and sex. They know that it is very possible for someone to be born a biological male or a biological female, but in terms of gender, identify differently as a male or non-binary, but they still have the biological capacity, the physical capacity to get pregnant. So that's why the language, the rhetoric is inclusive to include those people. It is not a big deal, but they make it a big deal. They manufacture it into a big deal because that's all Republicans are. That's all they have. This is all they do. Endless bad faith arguments meant to fearmonger and direct hatred and fear toward other Americans, typically powerless Americans. It's bad faith. They know there's a difference between gender and sex. They know that it is very possible.
Easy clap, everyone. Clap, applaud. That was precisely. I could not agree more. You are 100% correct, Anna. You are on point. You are spitting fucking facts here. Listen to this shit. Why did that change? What changed? Why did you go from having 100% the correct position on this exact topic, when it was about Republicans and right-wingers, and then out of the blue, it really feels like out of the blue, you know, just suddenly it's like, yeah, I'm gonna make a little post about this one here. Let's see what's going on. Onto the Twitter. And like, some people have been DMing me, and a bunch of people emailed me being like, Anna fucking chose war on the Leftist Mafia. She, you know, blah, blah, blah. She went after the Leftist Mafia because you're growing in popularity or blah, blah, blah. I was like, no, I don't think that at all. I don't think this was, again, if this was a coordinated idea, I was left out of the scene. Okay, no one informed me. If we're doing wrestling, if this is all WW fucking wrestling shit, I'm so on board. Just tell me. Just send me a fucking DM, you know, email me. I will totally get on board with some wrestling. Hell yeah, sounds fun. Sounds fucking fun as fuck. Let's do some wrestling. I'll be the heel. I'll be the trash man. I'll eat the garbage and the filth of all the right wingers. I'll literally, like, as part of my character, if I was the trash man, I could take printouts of like shitty tweets by like right wingers and then eat it live and be like, it's trash. I love trash, and do that. If we're doing wrestling, I'm so on board. It sounds fucking awesome. I'm so here for it. The thing is, I don't think that. I don't think that's what's happening. I genuinely, like, The only logical conclusion that I can come to, if I'm being honest with myself, if I'm using calculate, like, this is all by design, because there's no other way. There's no way you would see every single other person who respects and loves you, and every single other content creator and leftist activist and entertainer and media personality, every single one, all of them. Like, just all of them sounding off, you know, from every Majority Report, Humanist Report, Rational National, Leftist Mafia, fucking, you know, the Serfs, all of us in the most earnest of ways, coming from a place of love, you know, in the best of faith. Our hearts fill and swell, all of us being like, this ain't it, and we know you know this ain't it because you've been on the right side of this. You've said out loud, you know, we're saying the same thing. We're making the exact same point here. So what is going on? It has to be by design. They're intelligent people. They're institutions. As always, I will continue to repeat, they have done things that humble me. I would hope that I could attain a fraction of the success of things like the Justice Democrats movement and the progressive movement that TYT has ignited in the United States. That, like, forever I will be humbled by that. And I will always say that. It's the same shit that when I fucking talk about other people where I'm like, I don't understand this. I have to acknowledge parts of their history that were incredible, you know? And this is one of those moments. This could have been such a small, teeny little blip in fucking internet history. Could have been just like that. It just basically like, you make a statement because someone, I'm going in good faith, going to assume someone just pissed you off and used that term somewhere. A YouTube comment, a live TYT chatter, someone added Anna Kasparian. I was like, please, can you not use the term woman? That offends me. It's birthing person. Something like that, fine. I'll say in the best of faith, I'll grant you this. But for you with half a million followers on Twitter, fucking entire movements that worship you, and they worship TYT as the brand. This, like, it goes so big. If the fucking entirety of the queer community, the trans community, the leftist community, the progressive community, if every single one of them is saying this ain't it, and we know you know this ain't it because you said it out loud, there is evidence of you being on the right side of this issue, you know, then what is going on? What else is going on here? Are you hoping to open up to a new centrist audience, to pivot to the center, from being center left to centrist? Is that it? Is there going to be a reason, you know?
Possible for someone to be born a biological male or a biological female, but in terms of gender, identify differently as a male or non-binary, but they still have the biological capacity, the physical capacity to get pregnant. So that's why the language, the rhetoric is inclusive to include those people. It is not a big deal. But they make it a big deal. They manufacture it into a big deal because that's all Republicans are. That's all they have. This is all they do. Endless bad faith arguments meant to fearmonger and direct hatred and fear toward other Americans, typically powerless Americans.
Yes, correct. So I woke up this morning. I was about to go to the dentist to get a tooth cleaning. And then I started seeing all the shit that was blowing up. It's kind of wild that the Leftist Mafia has been at the center of this entire strange leftist war, circular filing squad, as it were. But we had David Dole. There are a number of issues that TYT advocated for before they became popular. Gay marriage and Medicare for all as examples. Why change your position to now only supporting things that poll well? But unlike gay marriage, none of these are morally correct positions. There's a reason why 99% of Americans don't want to abolish prisons, because it makes no sense and leads to tremendous injustice. I'm not going to back nonsensical positions because 12 people on Twitter pretend to represent the left and claim that no one else is allowed to disagree. 12 people. Is this what we're going to be known as from now on? The 12? The brave 12. First off, it's more like the 40. Motherfucker. Okay, it's like your own nephew, fucking Hassan Piker, the god king, the fucking handsome himbo of the left, is like, what the fuck? Why are you doing this? The Dirty Dozen. No, everyone, including Anna of the past, is on the other side of this issue. That hasn't changed. None of us have changed. You're the ones who are changing. Oh, wow. Again, there is no push. There's no push right now to replace woman. To be like, no one can be called woman. You have to be called birthing person. Excuse me, did you say woman? What? Are you not woke? Have you not wokeified your dialect and your language? Instead of woman, you have to say birthing pod. Yes, mobile birthing pod is actually the only correct way to say it. Any other way would be offensive. It's basically the N-word for women. Yep. If you don't say mobile birthing pod, you're basically saying the N-word. Every single time you say woman. Oh, shit, I did it there. Oh, yeah, did it with the hard N too. It's terrible. No, this is not a thing. This is God damn, this is not a thing. This is like, what's the term for this? Mousetrap? Is that it? Like, this is gotta be the, like, you don't need to have CIA infiltration of online leftist entertainers. We don't need that shit. You know, we got this. We'll do foolishness on our own, unprovoked. You know? I mean, prove me wrong, unless there is some, like, fucking financial backing behind this entire thing, because it just feels, as someone who's experiencing it in real time, someone who's in the middle of it, okay? I'm going to be totally transparent and honest with all of you. It feels like an op, you know? Hey, James from the internet. Mellow greetings, everyone. Good to see you. It's wonderful to have you all here. We're in the midst of deep drama. I'm sure, as you know right now, the TYT is going after the Leftist Mafia, and obviously the Leftist Mafia is ride or die with the limey, and we're all basically being like, yeah, we're team Olay around these parts, and always will be. And also, it's not hard to be Team Olay. And she's so fucking right. When she's so right, when she's like, she's so on point, she's so absolutely correct. It's like, this is not even controversial. Then I don't think any of us are being controversial. If I'm like, hey, by the way, there's basically zero examples of trans or queer activists demanding that the word woman stop being used. Zero. None. Zero examples of that. It's not something that is being fucking propagated by the left at all. This is actually a problem that the right has. This is the fascists, you know, the Christian nationalists, the extremists, all them motherfuckers. They're the ones who are trying to come up in front of this and being like, hey, by the way, just so you know, trans women are not women. That's not true. Ooh, that's outright bigotry. Why would you say such things? If you were to tell me that native women aren't women, I would say that you're a fucking abhorrent racist and you should, like, leave my presence. The same thing applies to this. If you're going to be like, trans women aren't women, ugh, gross, disgusting. No, you're a vile creature. Away with you. You have no place here. And you have terrible opinions. I don't want to be part of this anymore. That shouldn't be controversial. That should be very, I don't know, standard fare. Sorry, we gotta go get through this. There's a lot to get through. We have to do it. So obviously supporting David Dole on this one. Next one, I got the quote tweet. I think this is the first time Jank has ever quote tweeted me in my life, but yeah. So I added, birthing person is an inclusionary term for trans men and non-binary people who give birth. No one is saying women can't be called women, except for right-wingers who do that to trans women. This is a non-issue that's being elevated as a real one. Almost ratioed on that one, Jank. He said, then what is the disagreement? All of this started with Anna saying she would like to be called a woman. Everyone agrees that's cool. So then you guys lost it and started calling everyone fascist. Has a single fucking person called any of them a fascist? That's the shit that right-wingers say to me. Like, right-wingers are like, oh, you fucking lefties, you call everyone you don't like a Nazi, you call everyone you don't like a fascist. No! I had, in the nicest fucking terms, a very good faith criticism of this issue. I was repeating the same shit that Anna said. This take. Like, I didn't call anyone a fascist. No one called anyone a fascist. Olayemi didn't call anyone a fascist. Olayemi, who's been at the fucking centerpiece of all of this, like, this is where the whole fucking drama sphere has exploded into. She didn't call anyone a fascist. She started that clip by saying, "I love Anna. I love Anna." Yeah. I don't get it. And then I said, when did anyone call you a fascist? I said, you're blowing up a non-issue into a real one to the benefit of anti-LGBTQ plus people. You both agree with this take and have already been on the right side of this issue. I didn't cook anyone. I'm trying to understand what the fuck happened or what is happening. Seriously, I'm trying to wrap my head around this. And like every other leftist, it's because we love you. I deeply respect the amount of fucking work that TYT has done. That's why I'm like, why are you doing this? Like, the Dirty Dozen or the Big 12, more like the 40 other content creators who are all sounding off, being like, this ain't it. Why are you doing this? Why? Why are you not listening to any of us? Like, I don't understand. Then going after Emma. Isn't your point contradictory? If that number is correct, that means that any aversion to inclusive language is marginal compared to policy sets. Democrats have been doing well electorally, and well, nobody is making voting decisions based on clumsy activist medical language. Yes. People, like, the reason the GOP in the US is not doing well is because guess what is galvanizing people more right now? Women losing their body fucking autonomy. That's what gets people out in the fucking polls. That's what's getting people in the lineups. That's what's making people spend their day be like, oh shit, yeah, I have to get out and do something about this. This is fucked. Yeah. And birthing people, trans men, non-binary people who can give birth. There was a comma there. ... Emma, I see leftists using this language outside of clinical context all the time. One example, please. One. When have I ever said you cannot call a cis woman a woman? When have I ever said that? Why would I say that? It's ridiculous. This is absurd. We are reaching levels of absurdity here that like do not make sense. Did someone hack this account? Is there someone else running it? Why? This new excuse that no one is using it anyway is bullshit, but I'm happy about it. If everyone wants to retire these terms just in clinical context, great. I agree. Retire these terms. No one wants to retire anything. This, again, isn't a problem. David Dole, the issue adopting right-wing framing is a complete non-issue. Quote, birthing people meant to further otherize trans people during an unprecedented right-wing attack on their existence. David, you are so right. Oh my God. Sorry, I didn't like that tweet yet, but you were so correct. So, David, you agree. Birthing people shouldn't be used in a political context as the default term for women. No one is saying that. Where is this coming from? Who hurt you? TYT, who hurt you? Jank, my dude, who hurt you? No one is saying this. Yeah, roller drinking. No one but Matt Walsh, baby. Like, why are you doing this? It doesn't make logical sense to me. I'm gonna be totally honest. I'm beside myself. I am so fucking confused right now. You spent all day going after the left. David Dole, fucking me, Emma, Olayemi, Benny. Like, why? Going after trans people. Now you're trying to police them? No, it's not. So Betty says, demanding that elected officials like AOC use the term woman instead of medically relevant and accurate categories that include trans people is transphobic. Do you suggest that we leave trans men out when it comes to legislation on abortion rights? No, it's not. If left-wing politicians use language that is greatly alienating to the majority of voters, and then Republicans win elections, but they're not. They're not. That's the thing. And they then want to pass laws against trans people. You're hurting your own cause. You're hurting your own cause. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? I've never felt more like Switch in my life. I'm gonna play that movie clip.
If you have anything terribly important to say to Switch, I suggest you say it now.
Oh no, please don't. Not like this. Not like this.
That's how I felt. Genuinely. I've never felt more like Switch. Where I'm like, what is going on? Why are you doing this? It doesn't make sense. I can't fucking process this timeline. This arc, this is the weirdest fucking arc. Like, it's even more bizarre because, like, now you're going after trans people, by the way. There's this full-on quote tweeting trans people being like, yeah, you don't know what's good for you. Like, it only makes sense in the context that, like, you want to separate yourself from the left entirely or something. Like, why else would you do this? Emma, I guess the question is, why repeated emphasis on this, especially with no examples of electoral fallout? Why do leftists have to bend the language to appease the right? Hasn't the TYT mantra always been about fighting and beating the right into submission, metaphorically? I mean, you also just don't have to do shit. None of us do, right? Like, Jink, none of us have to do fucking anything. Not a single person has ever tried to course correct me on calling people women. I've never, not a single trans ally activist, you name it, not a single trans person, trans friend, none of my trans friends have ever, excuse me, Lance, the term woman is offensive to us. We would prefer if you used birthing person, just to be more inclusive to our cause. That's never happened. Not once. Not once. I've never had that happen to me. It's not a, this is such a non-thing. You know? We repeatedly emphasize anything. Anna posted the most innocuous tweet of all time, which now a lot of you are saying was perfectly normal. Then leftists lost their shit and started saying it was an attack against trans people, etc. This is no. Everyone said that this only serves to further the aims and the goals of the right and the far right who hate trans people and are targeting trans people. And trans people are also telling you that, you know? I saw a bunch of different trans content creators in the replies being like, Jesus Christ, why are you not listening? Everyone felt like they had to do a video explaining how they were more holy than us when no real voters on the left agree with you. Yeah, we were just pumping out the content on this one. It's not like 2 weeks after that clip of the Leftist Mafia had taken place, 2 weeks later, out of nowhere, at fucking on Easter Sunday, the Lord's Day, fucking Jesus hath risen, and out of nowhere, Anna Kasparian is like, hey, align me. What about this? And then, like, her response is exactly what I would have done. I would have done a question mark too. I'm like, wait, what? Question mark? Wait, what are we talking about here? And then to have the clip like, this whole topic was so dead. Everyone like, I'll be honest, I kind of feel like Anna got a pass. You got away with this one. You did a fucking Newsweek article. You did a Newsweek article. Come on. Like, was that not a freebie? You know, I think everyone let this one slide. You know, it's like for some other people to double, triple, and now quadruple down on this shit. Well, they would not have gotten passes. They would not have had a whole bunch of people be like, "Do you not see the writing on the wall?" Matt Walsh just quote tweeted you. Matt Walsh, fucking Carrie Lake. Like, Carrie Lake is like, broken clock. You're like, maybe you're on the wrong side of this one. Gonna be honest for you. But keep fighting it. The issue many of us are having is how uber defensive you are getting about this. Yes, that's 100%. Why are you choosing this as the hill? People who generally agree with you and making them out to be the bad guys, you're fighting with your allies for no good reason, and all your allies are telling you that. And they're telling it to you so nicely. So nicely. God damn, you know? Every one of them, all your allies are like, why are you doing this? You know, we're all Switch. We're all like, not like this. Not like this. Like, why are you still doing this? Why is it getting worse and worse and worse and worse? I kept thinking that this discussion about legalese where the legislation word should be broad to protect to apply to most people possible. I don't know anyone who uses person. Yes, outside of this discourse has made more people say birthing person than ever in human history. Let's be honest. If your goal was to never hear someone use that term, well, it's had the negative effect. It's had the opposite effect. I would never be saying birthing person over and over. Certainly wouldn't be a fucking title in my thumbnail. going on right now. If you're looking through Twitch and you're going through streams and you're just seeing what the screenshot of the Serfs is right now, yeah, that probably would not have been a thing. No, our so-called allies. We are your allies. Goddamn motherfuckers. We're your allies. We're your allies. we're being so nice about this. Our so-called allies went on their shows and started calling us names. Like right-wingers, transphobes. No one, oh my God, no one called you that. Holy shit. People supporting anti-Kasparian turf tweets. Let's see. Let's run through the list. Is this not telling? Is this not enough? Like, holy shit. When these are the people who are like, ooh, an opening now. Oh, delicious. Sweet, delicious leftist infighting. Can't wait. Yes, welcome into the flock. We now will open the gates. You can be one of us. I would be like, oh, fuck. You know how earlier I said I would break at about 5% of the rest of like progressive and leftist content creators messaging me? Like within, I'd say a 5% of what they've received amount of people in my replies, I would immediately be messaging my besties, asking all other content creators, be like, am I off base? And if they were like, yes, Lance, this is not it. This is the wrong take. Don't do this. I would delete, I would reflect, I would then come back twice as strong and issue a correction. You know, do the full screen thing. Maybe even have a little apology or two, depending on how severe my statements were. You know, but you would see it in this frame. And I would probably look at the camera too. Maybe even take off the headphones. Yeah, I know. It's weird. I have ears. Not a lot of people know that. People actually have a version of me without ears. That's the version of me they have in their brains. To be totally honest with you, though, I fucked up. I was wrong, and I will do better. And you have all placed a lot of trust in me as a content creator, and I deeply, deeply respect that. I'm humbled by that. Were not for you, you might not know this, and by you I mean you, every single person watching this, I wouldn't exist if it were not for your support in me and the entertainment and messaging that I give. So I fucked up. Now the ears cannot hurt you anymore. No more ears. They're gone. The ears were CGI. Jeff is wrong. So what did Candace Owens say? Good for you and J.K. Rowling and Riley Gaines. Get by with a little help from my friends. I get high with a little help from my friends. I get high. What could be more misogynistic than men who dress as women demanding that real women stop existing to accommodate their dysphoria? I have virtually nothing in common with Anna Kasparian, but we are both women. Yeah. Oh, Matt Walsh, so good to see you. Anna, you have repeatedly accused me of being a transphobe in the past. Are you starting to see how that label is nonsense? If Matt Walsh ever said to me, are you starting to see? If I got that from fucking Matt Walsh, I would have to do a life correction, a course correct of the highest fucking order. Dear God. If Matt Walsh, I fucked up. It's okay. All right. To be honest with all of you, I flew very close to the sun. I did not see the folly of my ways. I'm sorry. I apologize. I deeply, deeply apologize. This was a sobering moment. Holy shit. See Matt Walsh? Matt Walsh appear and suddenly say, like, are you starting to see? Then, oh, wow. Okay, I fucked up. Yes, an exorcism would be of the highest order. I genuinely agree. You know? Yeah. Miller, Anna Kasparian to the Daily Wire. God damn. Ian, keep fighting the good fight. Keep fighting the good fight, says Ian Wiles Chung. Also, your followers seem intent on gaslighting you. Hey, don't listen to all the people who love and respect you. Don't listen to the people who love and respect you. No. Now they're gaslighting you. Yeah, the people who love and respect you and are saying in the most wholesome and friendly of ways why you're incorrect about this, also showing you yourself being on the other side of this issue. Here's you, in your own words, saying the same things we're saying. All of us lefties. Here's you saying the exact same thing. Yeah. A broken clock. Cool. Cool and normal. Honestly, oh man, it still goes. She was being told why she was wrong by people in the know, and instead of saying, yeah, I was wrong, she doubled down on it. This is exactly what I fight against. People in the know are the most full of shit people on earth. Whether they're the establishment or the loony riddles. Wait, so I'm the loony left now? And I'm the equivalent of the right? Why are you doing this? I don't understand. I'm very online. I know you. I know all of you. Why are you doing this? I say this from the bottom of my heart. Why? Why? It doesn't make sense. It's so transparently weird and wrong. I know you know this because you said it. You've been on the other side of this. You agree with me. All of you do. Why are you doing this? I don't know. Lord, if you're listening, if God exists, help. Help. Lord, if you're listening, help me. I don't understand. I need strength. Emma, again, the repeated emphasis and reaction have been on social media. I can't speak to the segment you guys have done on the show. I'm not trying to be pure. I'm engaging with you, even though it's uncomfortable, because I love you guys. Yes. Yes. Yes, we are the people who love you. Why are you doing this? And then again... So, good news. We are on the right side. Mission accomplished. Now, let me talk to you about patronizing way about your opinions I need to correct. Patronize. I was trying to express my love. Emma, no, this is getting so sad. I was trying to, my heart's breaking at this one. I was trying to express my love and appreciation for the company that gave me my start. And for my good friend Anna, within the context of a disagreement. This reaction is shocking to me, Jank. Have a good one. That's so sad. It went from being really, really funny to really, really sad now. That's genuinely heartbreaking that Emma got to this point and you still aren't listening. Emma, we love you too. We'll get beyond this disagreement in a second. But in this case, you guys made a giant mountain out of the smallest molehill. Then after all these videos correcting us, I'm surprised there was no videos on all of you at first. Everyone was being so nice in Twitter DMs. Yes, you have blown this into the point where it is content. It's fodder for the fucking all of political Twitter, the YouTubers. I'm sure if I went and did a deep dive, I'd find a whole bunch of right-wing videos on this, just fucking frothing, loving this shit, you know? If Matt Walsh, Carrie Lake, fucking Ian Miles Strong, all of them, if all of them are suddenly like, oh yes, good job, y'all, you did a good thing, yeah, of course it's gonna be videos. This sucks. And as evidence is an unconfirmed anecdote. Again, this is not happening. And I guess the only good thing to say is that Jank has been getting ratioed all day by this shit. Because of course, everyone in his circles, including his own fans, including TYT fans, they are like, why are you doing this? This is so fucking cringe. Everything about this is cringe. Again, the fact that you fucking said this is what makes it so extreme cringe.
It's bad faith. They know there's a difference between gender and sex. They know that it is very possible for someone to be born a biological male or a biological female, but in terms of gender, identify differently as a male or non-binary, but they still have the biological capacity, the physical capacity to get pregnant. So that's why the language, the rhetoric is inclusive to include those people. It is not a big deal, but they make it a big deal. They manufacture it into a big deal because that's all Republicans are. That's all they have.
I was just over there and they're live and they're talking about it right now. Okay, I gotta see this. We're doing Inception, y'all.
And if you say, I don't have to help my cause, people should already be on my side. You're not, okay, but they're not. So we gotta help to make sure we win elections so they don't pass all these terrible bills against trans people.
You're winning elections!
They pass hundreds and hundreds
the
of
Democrats are winning!
People, right?
What
so
the
we've
fuck?
got to find a way to convince
The
That was
trans
here, I'll give you
issue.
the last example,
Oh my
guys.
God!
So,
It's
for
not
example,
a
when you
winning
talk about
issue for the
sports
right.
and trans people participating in sports. I think it's an interesting and legitimate debate to talk about hormone blockers and how much of an effect they have on athletic ability.
Agreed.
Oh my God! What is happening? What is happening? Holy fuck!
You're engaging, and a lot of people don't know that. Okay, so that's great. Do that, right? And that might change some minds. By the way, and then it's okay if the right winger or the moderate or whoever or the newbie or even me says, "Hey, you know what? I'm not sure I'm quite convinced yet, but let's keep talking about it, right? How much do the hormone blockers affect athletic performance?" That's a legitimate debate.
Yeah,
When the
exactly.
right wingers say, "Oh, trans people are mentally ill and we should take away their rights," that is not a legitimate debate. We fight back ferociously on that, but politically and rhetorically, because they're going to win on the politics of it, and they're going to keep passing those atrocious
that's the
laws
standard.
unless you convince a majority of Americans that you are right. And by the way, guys, we've been through this 100 times, and we've been through it in TYT history. We were right about gay marriage, and what do? We fought and we fought and we fought, and we convinced America that we were right. Now, I know they're retrenching a little bit, but overall, if you do it the right way, you can win, and we
Wait, are you trying to use, and by the way, correct me if I'm wrong, but Cenk is not gay or bisexual. He's not part of the LGBTQ plus community. Are you trying to use the civil rights movement that led to gay marriage being like acceptable in the United States as proof that you were infallible, that you can be right on all issues, that even though every single other leftist activist and queer person is screaming at the top of their lungs, including trans people, that you are wrong on this take, and you've been like, again, you've been on the other side of this issue. I don't understand.
Make them bad faith actors who are just trying to trash the transgender community. I think when it comes to youth gender medicine, when it comes to transgender athletes, there are areas that I think are deserving of some debate among good faith actors, and we need to be open to those conversations and open to those debates. If we devolve into acts of violence or preventing people from being able to exercise their right in speaking, I think that it's only going to do more harm than good. All right, we got to take a quick break. When we come back, we've got more for you, including, this is probably my favorite story of the day. Elon Musk and Matt Taibbi have broken up. What happened? I'll tell you more when we come back.
Elon.
That was fucking devastating. That was terrible to see. Man, yeah, that ruined my day. What the fuck? Can you scroll back on this? I didn't catch the start of it. Just seeing what the chat is saying. Deleted by a moderator, deleted by a moderator. So many messages deleted. Deleted. What the hell is going on today in chat? Because progressive and leftist fans are having their minds blown right now. Why are you like doing service to the right at a time when the right are targeting trans people in such a horrifying way? Like this is so deeply depressing to see. Like, the reason so many people are hurt, by the way, by this, including myself, and that it's just like heartbreaking to watch, is that I respect TYT. Like and the shit that they've done. You know? These are people who are criticizing you who also come from a place of like TYT has platformed me so many times. TYT has done so many incredible things in their history. Like, it's just, why are you buying 100% into right-wing culture war bullshit that harms trans people? Why? It doesn't, like, unless you are being like fucking like, I don't want to get Alex Jonesy, but this doesn't, like, I don't understand why. You know, like, the science, the facts, the logic before you. Why are you doing? Why is this the hill? And why are you doubling down, tripling down, and now out of nowhere starting to be like, I just think that if right wingers, come to the table with questions about women's sports or whether it's potentially harming to children to do certain things, that those should be things that we entertain. We should have these conversations. Blah blah blah. Like, as progressives or leftists, you should be at the front lines, if you believe this, of not being like, we need to allow civil debate to occur, marketplace of ideas style, you know, just so we can have conversations. You should be like, okay, I'm going to have those conversations and I'm going to dismantle them. I'm going to debunk them because they are ascientific. They are false. They endanger trans kids. They endanger trans people. And there is legislation being pushed right now against trans people that could very well fucking affect their lives. This is a crucial time. This is unfortunately, and it is unfortunately, the centerpiece of the culture war right now. It is what right-wingers are fucking setting their sights on and are obsessed with. They cannot stop talking, thinking, obsessing over trans people, and they are trying to push legislation that could eliminate trans people from existing. So now it is more crucial than ever for us, especially if we are fucking advocates for trans rights, to be at the front of this shit and to be calling it out. That's what's important. That's what's necessary. That's what is a fucking leftist media POV and should be. But like, and if not, we deserve to be fucking cast aside by trans people and their allies. We deserve to be cast aside by LGBTQ plus people and their allies. We do. We deserve to be fucking abolished if we're not going to stand up for them when the going gets tough. Like, remember that shit. When the going gets tough, when stuff is actually fucking challenging and getting difficult, and then there's shit on the line, that's when you have to be on the right side of this shit. That's when you have to be in the front lines to tell people. There's enough leftist shows now that TYT as the main show's no longer supporting. They grow from their path. Here's the thing, though. Like, you need TYTs. I'm going to be honest with you. Not, like, in the way they're operating right now. I'm not trying to defend this fucking bullshit. But you need to have big fucking online media institutions that can challenge right-wing fucking shit, because there's so much right-wing channels that are monstrous, that are huge, that have fucking tens of thousands of live viewers. And the left doesn't have a lot of those. They have basically Hassan is like the biggest one, but there's not a lot of fucking leftists who have anywhere close to like 3,000, 4,000 live viewers, 10,000 live viewers, that kind of shit. And there's a lot of right-wingers who do. Like, while they don't dominate the voting population, they dominate a lot of aspects of the culture war, because that shit is all algorithmic gold. It's all controversial. It's all edgy. It's all the shit that, like, it's not PC to say this, but I'm going to start dropping the N-word a bunch, that kind of stuff. So it's important to have something like the Young Turks that pulls people into leftist shit in one way or another. It's important to have big institutions that are going to bring people into leftist activism, leftist politics, those kind of things. But this ain't it, Just like, I am so flabbergasted by this arc. I'm so confused and hurt, to be totally honest with you, because I genuinely do not understand it. It doesn't make any sense. And if every person who loves you and who fucking respects your work is telling you that, like, if every person who loved me in my life came together and were like, hey, Lance, by the way, you fucked up. Yeah, you fucked up pretty bad. You fucked up really bad, and so we're gonna have to talk to you about that. I'm like, okay, I guess I'm gonna listen, unless I was intentionally doing it. That's the only reason why. Like, I'm just saying, for my own logic, if I was intentionally doing something because I was like, for whatever reason, I was like, oh, it's actually going to make me a ton of money if I just do this as a career move, and then I'm intentionally doing it, that's the only reason I would not listen to a whole bunch of people telling me with earnest love, hey, this ain't it. What you're doing right now is directly helping the worst people, the ones I know you hate. And I know you know this because you have expressed the right take on this issue, and now you're making it a wedge thing. Why have no one, have any of them acknowledged that take?
To Cenk and Anna, he says right in the beginning, I respectfully disagree with your recent positions. They're valid, but the Twitter activity isn't constructive. I think you're not just angry about those positions. It's the fact that no positive change is happening fast enough. I want to help in any way because I believe in you. Shane, I appreciate it, brother. Even if you disagree and then you're helping, God, I love you for it. I love you for it. There's nothing wrong with disagreement, okay? The things that's happening on Twitter, one of the things that set me off, honestly, is a whole bunch of folks claiming that they speak for people they don't speak for. They just don't. So the left doesn't agree with what Twitter leftists say. The polling shows it. I'm clearly correct, okay? And so—
Wait, what?
Then—
No, you are not. No, this is not a voter issue. All the data says the contrary to this. Like, you are directly refuting the actual fucking numbers on this. What are you talking about? Poll after poll, when showed in American elections, both at state level and federal level, it shows that they are not obsessed with and concerned with the queers. Yeah, and so, but you started this by saying that, like, people who are not a part of this, speaking for people who are part of this, it's true, I'm not trans. I cannot speak for trans people as someone who has a lived trans experience, but I am queer. I am part of the rainbow, so to speak, and yes, every single person who is an activist in that fucking arena right now is screaming at you. And again, you know this. You know what's actually truthful. I don't know how many times I have to keep pulling up that clip. Anna has said our position. You have the same position as the rest of us.
People come in and go like, oh, let me educate you on the correct opinion because my 13 buddies on the left on Twitter agree with me. No, nope, not gonna do it, okay? So it's not being stubborn, it's just telling you things that are honest and true. So sorry, there's nothing wrong with disagreement.
This is so
There's something
cringe.
wrong with saying you're not allowed to say that.
No one is asking for any of you to be silenced. Oh God, look what happened. My superpower, my one actual superpower of having the ability to make the most incredible pause screens just happened on Cenk, on an ally. What is going on? Don't do this. Don't fucking do this. Why are you doing this? It's not real. It's not true.
It goes against orthodoxy, and we will now enforce orthodoxy.
No one was asking for you to be silenced. I did not cancel you. No one, you know what? Fuck it. I'm bringing that segment back on Leftist Mafia on Thursday. We're doing cancellations again, all right, motherfuckers? We're canceling too. And Cenk, because it's a real thing that we have the power to do. It's not a bit. Definitely not a bit. Not a bit for the laughs and the lulls and the kecks. Definitely not. No, we can actually cancel people. And once the cancel culture hath grabbed you, your careers are over. Yes, done. Totally done. But honestly, what the fuck is happening?
If you're looking for orthodoxy, you've come to the wrong place.
So
what we do here at TYT is we think for ourselves. We think independently. We don't go, oh my God, look at the leftist or rightist opinion. I will now follow it like a lemming. Sorry, we don't do it. So, but anyway, Shane.
Oh my God, Blair, I'm happy you're here. This is so ridiculous. This is so absurd. I don't know if you're seeing this in real time. Like, is there going to be a corporate casket on TYT? How does it keep getting worse? How are they so cringe? Why are you still, this is fucking nuclear levels of cringe. You are cringing into yourselves. Why are you doing this? Anyone who could just all right, so I want to do a facts-based approach to this issue. TYT saying one thing, the Leftist Mafia saying another thing. Okay. All right, so is this a voter issue? Is this something that concerns Americans? Are Americans, poll after poll, saying that they are deeply concerned about whether or not women should be called women or birthing persons? Is that in the top 10 when polled? Do they care about queer issues, LGBTQ issues? Do they care about trans kids? Is trans kids one of the top things when polled that American voters are deeply concerned about? Or is it things like the economy, inflation? Like, Jesus Christ, nonsense. This is so fucking clown shoes. Why are you doing this?
Shane, thank you for respectfully disagreeing. Thank you for still believing. Let's go fight on the things that we, together on the things that we agree on, which is 99.9.
I totally agree. So maybe stop making this an issue. This is you. You can't do this. You can't make an issue. You can't just soapbox this shit, stand up and here's a proclamation. Everybody, I am ashamed and offended that the queers are demanding that I not be referred to as a woman anymore. That's insulting to me to be referred to as birthing person, menstruating person. And then have people be like, oh, that's not something anyone is asking for. No, activists, allies, LGBTQ plus people, no one's saying this. No one, absolutely no one. Yeah, so this is a made up, it's a phantom issue. Do you know how I know that? Because here's a clip of you, Anna, saying and agreeing with my take 100%, like almost verbatim. Just word for word. Here's you being on the right side of this issue when it concerns you going after right-wingers and Republicans. And now in this case, it's like, oh, well, yeah, but the left has gone insane. Have you seen the Leftist Mafia? You've seen the things that they're saying, apparently, criticizing this take. You know what the fuck you're doing.
5% of stuff. Okay, but if people say, no, we're going to try to cancel you, have at it, Hoss. See how it turns out for you. Okay, now let's go to YouTube.
No one's doing that. I don't have that power. I'm sorry. I don't know what mythology has been spread around. I don't know if this is something in the TYT studio that they've said, like the Leftist Mafia, the Serfs, Illuminati, you know, like all of them, they have the ability to cancel people. You know, when the Leftist mob, when the woke mob comes for you, you best look out. Yeah, they'll cancel. No, I don't have that. No one does. Yeah, it's not a thing. There's a difference between, by the way, and this is such a good example of this, call-out culture versus cancel culture, right? Cancel culture. Because there is a lot of censorship that goes on. There's a lot of limits of free speech that go on in the internet, in broadly speaking, in society writ large. That does happen. And in this case, Cenk, we're not doing that. We're not trying to silence you. Hell, I'm watching you right now. I'm showing you to 600 people on the internet. You know, this is a stream.
YouTube members.
Now
we're circling back. Well, we didn't actually watch the segment. I wanted to hear that first one that everyone said I had to watch, and we watched it. We got through, and then now we're moving on to this segment, which more fun to come. I hear you're now a Daily Mail person. I am. I am a Twitter user. Yes. So you know, hey mom, if you're watching, I'm a Twitter user in the Daily Mail. You know, that transphobic trash rag in the UK. That's me. I made something of myself.
She was, again, a former NCAA swimmer. She competed against a transgender athlete by the name of Leah Thomas. And Gaines felt that the inclusion of Leah Thomas was unfair.
Hell yeah, thank you.
Now, she tied 5th place, Gaines did, in the 2022 NCAA Swimming and Diving Championships. In March of 2022, Leah Thomas became the first openly transgender athlete to win an NCAA Division I national championship in any sport after winning the women's 500-yard freestyle with a time of 4 minutes, 33 seconds. Olympic silver medalist Emma Weyant was the second person to win at I think about she was.
Bye, Roller. We love you. I love you. I know this is hard. Sorry.
Too late, I guess. I mean, these competitions
I know
are
you're caught
like,
between
these are
two
incredibly
worlds.
fast swimmers.
I'll tell you this though, by
but
the
anyway,
way. And Roller Dragon is one of our awesome mods, by the way, who also mods for TYT. I am not canceling any member of TYT. I am not. I never will. I doubt I'll ever be invited on the show ever again. But if I am invited on, and they're like, Lance, would you like to talk about this? I will say it to their faces the same way I'm saying it right now, live on stream. I have no qualms or quarrels about just saying it out loud that, hey, this is yikes. This is all yikes. You know, Nina still loves, and I love Nina. Maybe me and Nina will just continue to do shit together because fucking, oh man, do we have good energy? I love doing shit with Nina Turner. She's so fucking funny. I don't think she gets enough respect for how funny she is. I think a lot of people who love Nina Turner just love how fucking, you know, impassioned she is as a speaker and how she just like galvanizes people, and she's just like, wow, can she work a crowd? That's what she usually gets a ton of respect for. But she's funny. She's really fucking funny.
This has been a controversial issue to say the least, and so Gaines was invited by Turning Point USA, an organization that—
Jeez, thanks for telling Twitch Chat. No, everyone loves you, Roller, obviously. Twitch Chat, to give Roller Dragon your praises. Give Roller Dragon some good feedback for being an awesome mod and keeping us safe and having to deal with difficult in between two universes and two worlds drama. Yeah. There you go, Twitch Chat. Like, light it up.
Clean up your room.
You know? Oh, and thank you, Ganja Goddess Dragon. I appreciate that. But yeah, give Roller Dragon some love. You know, praise to the dragon. You know, he's having a difficult time. There's a lot of shit going down. Multiple factions fighting, leftist infighting. You know, it seems quaint. The lobsters, that little like lobster meme, but it's quite violent.
That we have been very critical of on this show. So we see what's happening here. To go onto this campus, yes, I acknowledge it is a campus located in San Francisco, an incredibly left-wing part of the country, and this is provocative. I totally understand that. I mean, and her Twitter profile is also, I think, meant to be somewhat provocative. Mentions that she's a spokeswoman with Independent Women's Forum and that there are only—
She's a transphobe. She's an aggressive transphobe. She's utilized by the transphobic movement, the anti-LGBTQ movement as well, the Christian nationalists, the Christian fascists. Yeah, you got label this shit for what it is.
Only two sexes. Now, Gaines was in fact accosted by trans rights activists after giving her speech.
Oh my God.
And I want to be clear, there were trans rights activists or people who disagreed with her in the room as she was doing her talk. And they were incredibly respectful. Even though they engaged in protest as well, I think they did it right. But what you're about to see is what I think is incredibly counterproductive for anyone who actually gives a damn about transgender rights in this country.
Oh my God, this is the same shit. This is the same shit as the propaganda. I'm sorry, this is the exact same thing. If you are showing people very scary footage of black criminals and being like, oh, what, do you want these fucking mass stabbers to be released on the streets? Do you want the people who love stabbing other people to be out there? Look how black they are. Look how dangerous they are. This is scary. It's very frightening. We need more prisons. We need blah, blah, blah. What does that serve? What is it like? If you want to take a rational perspective, if you want to take a step back from this, yeah, that shit's scary. When I watch Cops and it comes on TV, I'm like, whoa, I'm frightened now by these criminals. But there's a reason why that fucking propaganda exists. It keeps reinforcing those stereotypes in our minds. It programs us into such a way that we start to see people differently, even though they're all people. It gets to the root of this problem. You see people who are black is inherently more violent. There's a reason for that. There's a reason why that can be demonstrated both amongst black communities and black people, but in society writ large. There are studies that show that people, when given different types of pictures and photos, they will see black people as more threatening because the shit is programmed into us. It's not real. It's like none of this is real. And if you platform this story from this angle where it's like, just so you know, this is an instance where there happens to be someone who was an athlete. She was a female athlete. She was accosted by a whole bunch of people. This is not it. You know, this is really going to hurt you. This is going to hurt the trans rights movement. Don't do this.
So after that, Gaines had to be escorted by campus police into a safe room where she remained barricaded for literally 3 hours. There's documentation proving that, which we'll get to in just a moment. In fact, she couldn't leave the room until members of the San Francisco Police Department showed up to escort her out of that barricaded room and to safety. She says that campus police did nothing to help her get out of the room that she was barricaded in, although in the video you can clearly see that they escorted her to that barricaded room as that mob of students were going after her. Now, documentation again does prove that she was barricaded for 3 hours. So Golden Gate Express tweeted out a thread, kind of documenting key moments of this whole incident. So Riley Gaines has been escorted out of the event into a side hallway in the HSS building. Students were following through trans women are women, or yeah, and then there's a timestamp, 8:31 p.m. is when that happened. The next tweet that's relevant at 11:21 p.m. SFPD announced that those who stay to protest are now unlawfully congregating and will be arrested if they refuse to disperse. And then finally, at 11:38 p.m., Riley Gaines left the campus. So,
God, this chat is based. Bo game, I couldn't agree more. Yeah, if you come to the Serfs.tv, you'll have a chat experience that's wholesome, wonderful, and amazing in every way, shape, or form.
Clearly, from 8:30 to 11:30, 3 hours, she was in fact barricaded in that room as people were outside saying some pretty terrible things. And, you know, it was threatening. If you're someone who's barricaded in a room and you know there's people out.
Why did you run this story? What's going on? Why did you run this story in the same day as you're dressing? Like, okay, so can we just at this point kind of be like, this is by design? Yes? Yes? Like, I don't know what else to say. You don't run these kind of stories that you know will directly, again, infuriate and inflame people who are already very transphobic. That's what this serves. This, like, if you're like, well, what does this story appeal to? You know, in terms of right-wingers, left-wingers.
Outside who are screaming at you and they're that animated, it could be intimidating to say the least. I do want to also just go to one more video showing that some members of that group floated the possibility of Gaines paying a ransom if she wants to be let go. Let's watch.
Would it be dishonest to not acknowledge that this happened? Yeah, no, it would. Honestly, I know a lot of people were mad at me, kind of like the 6 degrees of separation shit, where like I got a bunch of people in my replies on Twitter basically being like, hey, by the way, why have you been on TYT before? Or why have you appeared on that show? Do you not know that this is going down? And I stand by this standpoint. If TYT brought me on the show and they were like, hey, we need you to talk about the issue of birthing persons, I would be like, well, I stand in opposition to you and I actually agree with you, past you. Yeah, so like that version of you from the past that like very eloquently put this, that this is a non-issue that only serves the right. That's it. That person. Like that's who at the end of the day is going to benefit from this kind of stuff, right?
Tell her to pay us. Tell her to pay us and then she could go. $10 each. Because she might get paid for this, so we could get paid for it too.
Now it's worth noting that there were
like who does this appeal to? Like this story, the way you're framing it, this appeals to the right. That like are you trying to do the whole Jimmy Dore thing? Like, well, if we say that we're doing leftist politics and then we appeal to right-wing perspectives, you know, at the same time, maybe that will just increase the numbers. Who cares if civil rights have to stand in the way of this? Okay, this is important.
Trans rights activists in the room as she was giving her talk, and I want to show you what I think a productive protest looks like. Let's watch.
You go, they honor you, they name their woman of the year. And so I went to this convention. It was
Lime Pillows, thank you so much. I'm back after a very long time to support you, Landman.
Clean up your room.
Today, after hearing Jank talk some mad mess about you and the same for Anna, I've watched TYT since they started, but today they lost a viewer for good. Love all the hard leftism you've done with all your Leftist Mafia stuff. Here's to hoping the Majority Report doesn't fall on the same stuff. No. Majority Report, please, everyone in the Majority Report is being so based right now. Emma Vigland deserves praise. She's been on the right side of this in every way, shape, and form. Deadfresh says, I don't agree with all TYT's talking points, but I do see the importance of having their channel. Yes, I do. This is not none of this has ever been a cancellation, by the way. Wanna reiterate that none of this, not a single part of this has ever been a cancellation. It's been, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? Again and again. And I say this to this segment too. Why the fuck are you doing this? Why? This story is a story that I know of because I've seen it in every corner of the right. Every corner of the right wing has done. The NCAA swimmer who went to the school and was like harassed and threatened, and they're all like championing it as this cause that people should get behind. The only reason you would run a story on this and be like, look, I'm not saying that transphobes are good. I'm not saying that, you know, if you happen to be a transphobe or a TERF, that you're a good person. But I'm also saying that, hey, from a leftist perspective, you should probably call this out, right? Like, if you were a leftist, you'd be like, this is wrong, you know, just to be casual and statistic.
in January, it was in San Antonio. And so I go to the convention, obviously not in support because the
Rest in power, Michael. The guy changed my life. Michael's fucking. What a
So they're
legend.
holding up signs the whole time showing their support for the transgender community. There was also a Q&A portion where there was disagreement. They exchanged their comments, their disagreement with one another. I think that's productive. But what happened outside of that room, what happened for the 3 hours following her talk, not productive. I don't understand how anyone would think that this is gonna win over hearts and minds in any way.
Okay, so I know exactly where it went wrong, in my opinion. And so this is broken down in my opinion, to two very distinct protests. Now, it wasn't in real life. It moved fluidly, and it was generally speaking the same people. But let me tell you what I think went right and wrong. First of all,
I'm so confused because right now I'm trying to rationalize all of this. I'm trying to calculate it, and like it doesn't make sense to me. Going like along the transphobic route, or at least trying to be like a casual enabler, or maybe just like, well, this is coming from a normie perspective, or at this point we have to actually say that things have gotten out of hand, so we need a measured response. We need to be able to calculate and say with a dignified nature that at the end of the day, this is what the trans people deserve. Like, why would you do that? Why are you doing that? This isn't a winning thing unless you want to expand your reach into a right-wing audience. That's the only reason you could do, like, otherwise I don't understand this. It doesn't make sense. What upsets me most is mine and other people's gateway to be more left and progressive. Yeah, and that's it. That's why, like, this sucks. Like, if I'm being real, this fucking sucks. This is not a fun story. Like, there's parts that are funny, obviously, and parts you can laugh at or clown at. But like, in general, this fucking sucks. This is brutal. It's savage to see this happen, and again, I don't know why. I feel so lost.
O'Reilly Gaines, she's conservative, so I probably don't agree with a lot of her opinions, but I don't care if I agree or disagree with her opinions. Should she be allowed to speak? Of course, right? So the protest in the beginning was
like, of all the shit that is going on, why is this your cause? Why? Shit is so fucked right now. For trans people in the US, why is this the cause?
Perfectly great. So they enter the room along with supporters.
Yeah, why now?
They stood in line,
why
got
now?
their place. Nothing wrong with that. They asked her good questions. Nothing wrong with that. They weren't supposed to make signs. They took flyers from TPUSA and made them into signs. Nothing wrong with that. The people outside are chanting trans rights are human rights. Nothing wrong with that. You go, you protest, you chant. Everything's good, right? So this thing was almost a picture of like a pretty good exchange on a college campus in America.
I'll play it after.
Okay? But when she's leaving, you gotta let her go. You can't get in her way. That's, no, guys, that's terrible, okay? So here, let's talk it through. So number one, she says she was hit. I don't know, I didn't see it in any of the videos, but could she have been brushed, or hit or so? I don't know. It's certainly possible, given the mayhem that was happening there. But there's one thing we do know that is clear. The cops thought it was not safe for her physically to leave that room for 3 hours. That's not good, okay? And so, guys, chanting is one thing. It's not just like neutral. It's good. Chanting is good. Protest is good, right? But when somebody feels physically out.
Lime Pillow says, I used to look up to Anna. She helped me find my trans identity. So this hits super hard. Oh, I'm fucking sorry. That sucks. For me, it feels like a family level betrayal. That's brutal.
Safe and you won't let her out. Then you've lost the moral high ground. What'd you do that for, right? Think about it this way, guys. Shoe on the other foot. Imagine it's like right-wing protesters and they're chanting crazy stuff about trans people. And the person in there is a left-wing speaker, as trans speaker, right? And she's scared for her life in there. And the right-wingers are chanting, and the cops say to the trans activists,
I'm so confused right now. I'm so betrayed. I don't know what the fuck's happening.
Now, what would our community, the left, say?
I mean, you know.
You know what we would say. Yeah. We would say those right-wingers are monsters. Let her out, right? So don't be hypocritical. Please, I'm begging you. I know it's so hard. We get into into individual camps, and no, everything on the left has to be right. Nope, everything on the right has to be right? No, that protest got out of hand the minute it felt that.
So if one side of a political ideology is straight up fucking preaching fascism and doing fascist shit and saying that they don't want trans people to exist, we oppose that in the strongest possible fucking terms. This is not me virtue signaling, not me trying to jump on a soapbox. This should be very basic shit. You know, this is like lefty 101. Yeah, you know, the early days. Yes, we don't have to go too deep into the theory, but like, what the fuck? That is what should be the thing that we oppose, talk about. If we have big platforms, we bring up, hey, it really fucking sucks for trans people that cis people continuously try to oppress them. That's fucked up. Not like, oh, but it also, where was the decorum? Where was the decorum? Really? The civility? Lefties? But what of your civility, lefties? Progressives, I ask you. I ask all of you, you know, a request.
It became physically unsafe, right? Do not lose the moral high ground. You had everything right until then. Please.
The thing that's frustrating about these situations is that
Left my fucking ass off and just literally defended me. Sorry. Chat is going too fast right now. Anna just literally defended asylums for mentally ill people. What? What? Actually? What?
These exchanges,
what is happening?
You know, if it's done appropriately without devolving into violence or intimidation, it could be productive. It could be persuasive. That's the way that you actually make progress. And I think the biggest mistake that trans rights activists make is just assuming that everyone already knows everything they need to know about transgender people and how they need to have their rights protected. But you gotta understand that for a lot of Americans, these are all new concepts. And so people, it takes time for them to.
This is verbatim, word for word. The entire thing where it's like, you got a little uppity. Honestly, you did. You know, things are happening too fast. You're asking for too much, really. Come on, do you expect everyday people to
clean
want
up your
like?
room?
On the other side of this argument is trans people and advocates and allies straight up being like, they should have basic civil rights. They should be basically affirmed by society. This is fucked up that we don't do that. We cis folk, myself included, we're part of the problem. We're the ones oppressing them. We're the ones oppressing trans people. We should stop fucking doing this, you know? And we should have more awareness towards this. And now, is there an important part about messaging? Of course. Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, and I advocate for this all the time. I say, hey, if you're talking to your friends, your family, your relatives, and they happen to be a little bit transphobic, you don't walk into the room or the dinner table. You don't sit down and you go, hey, you're basically Hitler. Yeah, Adolf much, you know? No, you don't do that. You be nice, you be friendly, you be open, you be good faith, you do all that shit. Just like we have been doing with Anna and Jank this entire time. And by we, I mean like leftists, activists, trans people, queer people, gay people, allies, straight people, fucking progressive content creators, YouTubers, all of them. Everyone has just been like so nice and friendly and just like, hey, by the way, this is wrong. You know it's wrong because you've disagreed with yourself in this other take. Here's you agreed with my take. Yes, here's you validating everything I'm saying right now.
To learn these new things, to be accepting of new things. And I think this knee-jerk reaction of, oh, you're just a transphobe, you're a terrible person. I'm exhausted. It is not my job to educate you. Okay, well, understand that if that's your mindset, then you're never gonna win. You're just not. And if you think that you're gonna win by intimidating and bullying people, that's also.
This is fucked. What is happening?
Not gonna work. That actually turns a lot of people off.
God damn. That sucks. I don't even have a bit. I don't have like a funny remark. That just sucks. Cause I've heard that word for word from fucking right-wing anti-trans people. I've heard that from like Jimmy Dore has done this shit. Jimmy Dore did an entire like, you know, things have gone too far. You gotta get your like, hey, you had me with adults should be able to do what they do, but I don't know, women prisons, sports teams, You know, getting kind of complicated. Children, kids getting, I don't know, surgeries. What if they're gay? Come on. Have we actually, does anyone question this? We're not allowed to, apparently. You can't even ask questions. What if a kid was gay, and then instead of being affirmed for being a homosexual, they mutilated his body? Yes, beyond repair. Oh God, what if that happened? Well, I mean, these are, hey, important questions. Discussions that should be had, you know? I think it's very fair that we should platform these kind of things, table them, if you will.
Yeah, if you're an activist or you're in this sphere in any way, and you say, well, it's not my job to educate you. Well, no, okay, it's not. But then you got to go home, because then you're not in this conversation, right? So like here, I'll use my example.
Oh, Terrence Bogards, so on point. 492 anti-trans bills already this year, and they're having this conversation. That's it. If you are a progressive or a leftist, that's the only thing we should be fighting for and talking about. We should not be doing segments and platforming and doing this whole thing on like, oh, look at the suffering of an athlete who hates trans people, and that person was not treated well. That should not be a thing that we concentrate on right now, because the real world, tangible, material reality of fucking trans folk is that like they're scared of this shit, and fair dues. Cis people need to back the fuck off. All of us do. And people who consider themselves what, allies, accomplices, whatever you want to say, they have to be on the right side of this in the front lines. I'm serious. They like cis people have to be the ones who are willing to step in front of the people who are being oppressed. That's what we got to do. So we don't run stories on like, oh, look how hard the person who's a transphobe is having their like, or how they're treated, or how they're protested. That's not something we cover. Like, we move on and talk about the issues that matter and the ways that'll move this forward so that we can liberate people.
Example, when Muslims were attacked, and pre-Trump too, remember the Republicans had these giant.
During the break, Jake and Anna went off about how you were taking them out of context and acting better than them. Like, I stream for fucking 4+ hours every day, motherfuckers. Like, you can see the VODs. You can scroll back. You can rewind the time. Like, there's nothing that can, like, you can't take me out of context. Just watch it. Watch the context. I will repeat the words I am saying right now on my stream, just with my chats, to you in person or on your show. Word for word. If you were like, Lance, come on the show and see if you'll actually speak that same way. Yes, verbatim. Word for word. Hold me to that. Hey, I'm live right now. There's 600 people watching. You can hold me to that. You can clip this. You can take this and you can put it on the internet. Hey, yeah, I'll be accountable to this.
Giant hearings. Keith Ellison went and spoke eloquently, as only back then, though, I think the only Muslim American, I forget if Andre Carson was in already. And they were saying that, look, basically we were dangerous and we should be kicked out of the country. If I said at the time, I'm not even going to cover it on the show, I don't have to explain it what Islam is to anyone. Well, how does that help?
No, God damn it. Do you not realize that you know? I'm not even going to play it. You know, 100%, no questions. You know that if you cover certain narratives, when you have a massive platform that promotes certain stories, those can be in service of people with ideologies, anti-queer people, anti-LGBTQ plus people, you name it, you know this. Because I know this, and I'm much smaller than you, okay? Everyone who has a fucking platform should know that. That if you run that story from that perspective, from that angle, who does it serve? Because I know you're independently funded. I know that it's subscribers. I know that's fucking, TYT people who will join the show. But if you are running these stories on trans folk, who benefits? Honestly, you have to see this. You cannot, like, the fact that they did that story. I didn't know they did that story before they started talking shit about all of us. I didn't know they ran that story where it's like, hey, by the way, just so we say this, leftists went a little too far. Also, trans activists, you're doing it wrong. If you want to do it right, if you want to win, if you want to survive, basically, here's how you got to play the game. Honestly, if you want to survive, this is it. We got you.
Well, they don't know about Islam. They didn't grow up Muslim. They don't know that well, instead what I did was I engaged in debates, 3 hours to Sam Harris, everyone on Twitter, Bill Maher, everybody else, right? And we got people, some people at least, to realize, oh, Muslims are also human beings.
Can I actually jump in on an example that's actually very personal to me and to you, right? When I first started working here, Cenk, because of the Turkish bubble like he grew up in, didn't see my perspective on the Armenian genocide and the reality of it. Let's just keep it real, right? I could have just written Cenk off and be like, oh, he's a bad person. He's a bad person. He can't be saved. No, except we engaged in some pretty fierce debates.
This is wild, because like no one is doing this. None of us are. Even Alayami isn't straight up being like, you're bad people, you're bad, you're just fundamentally a bad person. All of you, you're bad people. None of us have done that. Everyone has had to like bend over backwards to always put in at the start, hey, by the way, I deeply respect TYT. They've done such great shit. Oh man, have they ever accomplished a ton of things with the progressive movement? Oh my god, they're a legacy, they're an institution. All that shit over and 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 over. No one's like, duh. Like when Cenk accused me today on Twitter of what of it, he's like, you called me a fascist. No, I didn't. None of us did. What? That word has never been ushered. That's so weird.
Engaged in uncomfortable discussion, but to me it was worth it because I understand that most humans are good and most minds can be changed through persuasion, through understanding, through engaging in these exchanges. Now look, there are people out there who don't engage in good faith debate. I'm not talking
again, like the reason I'm so confused is that like I guess like I'm trying to be totally transparent with all of you. I don't understand this, and like I see the numbers going up too. I see that the videos on this topic are getting lots of views. I see that like the live viewers who watch me now increase by like 100 if I'm talking about drama, because everyone's like, oh yes, nice, juicy. What's Lance gonna say next? What's he gonna do? So I get that part of it, but I don't get why you would do this unless you were doing it consciously. Like I have to know. Part of me is like, I have to find this out because it's so strange to me knowing these people. Like I've had conversations with these people. They're lovely. They're wonderful. Like honestly, Anna, Cenk behind the scenes, awesome people. Very, very, very warm and friendly, and just what you'd expect. You know, just like honestly, if I could describe them, I would say a wonderful hug. That would be my descriptor. And yet, I do not understand why. And this is maybe a learning opportunity for me, because these are content creators of such a large size that I don't know why you would do what you're doing right now, unless there was like, unless it was with intent to be completely. There's no way. I can't live in a reality where I had so many other people that love me and respect me in my like Twitter replies and mentions being like, this is not it. You're wrong. And like if I loved them and I respected them, I would be like, oh shit. Okay, I fucked up. So the only way that this makes sense to me is I would do this and go down this path with intent. It has to be with intent. It would have to be like, I'm intentionally doing this because reasons, you know?
Talking about them. I'm talking about ordinary people who are open-minded to some extent. And guess what? He changed his mind. And I think the transgender community, along with transgender activists, can do that. I just think some of their tactics turn a lot of people off, and they're totally blind to that, which amazes me.
Yeah, and in that case, I don't know that they
almost 500 bills, almost 500. You know, this year alone, like that's the problem. That's what we got to talk about. That's what we got to get mad about. That's what we got to fucking scream, use our platforms, grab this shit, and fucking be like, holy fuck, this is bad. We have to protect our trans brothers, sisters, and non-binary siblings. We got to do this. That's what's important. Not, but doth the messaging be a little bit too precocious? Yes. Have we not gone too far, I say? Yes. Oh, you silly lefties. What are you asking for civil rights again?
They were all trans activists. They might have been leftists, generally speaking, right? And guys, if you just don't lose the moral high ground. It doesn't help your cause at all. And if you say,
honestly, it's so cringe. Tone policing the very groups that we are oppressing. As a cis person, I should not fucking tone police trans people and trans activists. It's so fucking cringe. It's cringe every time it happens. It's super, super cringe when white people do that to black people. Tone policing, it's fucking ridiculous. When you are part of, like, it's broadly speaking, a white supremacist patriarchal society, fucking humble yourself, check yourself over and over and over. And it never stops, by the way. Yeah, I fuck up all the fucking time. And I'm going to continue to fuck up, and I'm going to have to be open to the fact that I fuck up, and then acknowledge the fuck ups, and then do better, which is awesome. That's how we level up. We as human beings can be in a fucking video game where we get a fucking +1 and we become better people based on our own actions. That's fucking based. That's awesome. I love that shit. So yeah, I'm going to learn a bit, take some new information in, humble myself, say I'm sorry, and or do whatever I have to do to fucking correct course, and everyone should have that opportunity. It's a great way to fucking live.
I don't have to help my cause. People should already be on my side. You're not, okay, but they're not. So we gotta help to make sure we win elections so they don't pass all these terrible bills against trans people.
That's it. This is so factually incorrect. This looks so bad on the left. Honestly, this looks terrible. This whole thing. Why are you doing this?
They pass like hundreds and hundreds of bills against trans people, right? So we've got to find a way to convince the average person. Here, I'll give you the last example, guys. So, for example, when you talk about sports and trans people participating in the sports, I think it's an interesting and legitimate debate to talk about hormone blockers and how much of an effect they have on athletic ability.
Agreed, yeah.
Right, so when trans folks that are activists like Benny Carollo or anyone else makes that point, that's good. You're engaging, and a lot of people don't know that. Okay, so that's great, do that, right? And that might change some minds. By the way, and then it's okay if the right winger or it's a moderate or whoever or the newbie or even me says, hey, you know what? I'm not sure I'm quite convinced yet, but let's keep talking about it, right? How much do the hormone blockers affect athletic performance? That's a legitimate debate.
Yeah,
when the right wingers say, oh, trans people are.
So, hey, the sports debate really should be discussed and entertained by people in that field. Yeah, like it should never have spilt out. It's so bizarre. Like the Olympic fucking community coming together and being like, hey, we actually have determined that based on this, we're gonna have certain qualifiers, and this is basically how long you have to be on certain forms of hormones, whether they be, they come to that conclusion. Should have been enough for the rest of the fucking athletic communities to take a step back and be like, oh, okay, so I am not a professional sports player. I do not play professional sports. I'm not really well known in a lot of this. I do watch hockey, loves my hockey. Hockey's great. Hockey's awesome. Go Vancouver Canucks. Quit betraying me year after year. All that being said, though, I don't have a lot of knowledge in this field. I don't know a lot about it. Sports science, this kind of stuff, what actually makes competitive players actually able to beat one another, what should be done in terms of, whether it's ethical for, women to fight men or men to fight women. Is it weird, and I gotta ask this, that chess is gendered? That's a strange one, right? Why is chess gendered? Why is there a women's league and a men's league for chess? Like what, like, just, I mean this in terms of like, can you actually tell me why we should separate that? Is it because you think men are smarter than women? Is that why? Because there'll never be a woman who can come along and beat men in chess? Is that why? Because it's weird, right? Because like the whole like, oh, I don't want to see a man hitting a woman. All right, fair dues. No one likes to see a man hitting a woman. But like, why are we doing that? Why is chess gendered? Why was there such a huge deal when there was a woman who was about to beat the Jeopardy record of all time? There was a moment when a woman was about to become the greatest Jeopardy trivia knowledge player of all time. And guess what? She was trans. And when that was discovered, everyone lost their fucking minds. All of a sudden, all these weird discourses started up. It was like, blah, 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 she's trying to invade women's spaces, blah, 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 take away the blah, blah, blah. It just doesn't count that she's the greatest one because that's actually a man, blah, blah. I was like, I really feel in my heart of hearts right now that this is a lot of dudes who are genuinely scared. A lot of you dudes are scared that a woman's about to kick your fucking asses. That's what this feels like. It feels like a woman's about to crush, about to fucking just demolish all of you, and you're all like, I swear he's a man, but that's a man, isn't it? The male brain is smarter than the female brain.
Or mentally ill and we should take away their rights. That is not a legitimate debate. We fight back ferociously on that, but politically and rhetorically, because they're gonna win on the politics of it and they're gonna keep passing those atrocious laws unless you convince a majority of Americans that you are right. And by the way, guys, we've been through this 100 times and we've been through it in
They are. This is not a winning issue. Poll after poll, people do not care in the same way that the right-wing pundits put it out. The reason why the Christian nationalists have to do what they do and be as loud and scary as they are is because they are a minority with a lot of fucking capital and power. No question that they have backing under a capitalist system, but the majority of Americans do not hate trans people. It's pretty fucking based. Yeah, majority Canadians too. Yeah, it seems like it's not a thing. So this is not like a winning issue, you know?
TYT history. We were right about gay marriage.
Olive says, back when right-wingers were primarily focused on sports, trans people were saying it was a bad faith debate and that it was going to stop at sports, so it's pretty buck-fucking wild for TYT to try to legitimize it in the year 2023. Thank you. Yes, you were so right. Yes. Why are you doing this? Like, is the next segment going to be on bathrooms? Are we going to go from this one? It's like, well, so there was a biological female, and this biological female was a very good sports swimmer, and she competed, but yet she won 5th place. Yes, placed 5th because a biological male competed in the same race. Now, the biological male did not win, actually. It turned out that a cis woman won. But either way, this biological female who has a right to compete in these sports, why exactly was she harassed when she went to a school to give a speech about how sad it was that the transes took away her 5th place? The thing is, like, cis folk didn't have a problem with trans people being in sports till trans people started winning. For a large part, I don't think they paid any attention. They didn't really know about this issue. I'll be honest, I say this as a cis person. A decade ago, I was not thinking about trans women in sports. I didn't even know that sentence 10 years ago probably would not have made sense to me. I would have been like, wait, what? Oh yeah, trans women competing in women's sports. Like, trans people fighting to compete, medals important. Wait, no, what? No, I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. What? Sorry, is this Lord of the Rings? Is this Elf? Like, what is this gibberish you're saying before me? Cis? What is a cis person? I have no idea what you're saying right now. Yeah, but I'm proud to say I've come a long way. I've grown. I'm a better person. I am better for my knowledge on this topic, and I've grown to appreciate how fascinating, incredible, and downright beautiful these differences and variations in gender can be. It's true. I love it. It's wondrous. The more I learn, the cooler it gets. Again, I'm going to plug the sci-fi show and one of the vlog brothers, the Good Libs. The vlog brothers, they're great. One of the 2 Good Libs basically teaching me about gender theory yesterday. It was fascinating. Learning so many different things, everything from gametes to chromosomes to people who have not only XX or XY, but who have XXY, who like this shit is so cool. The more I learn about this, the more I'm like, this is infinitely more fascinating than I ever thought the world was. It's the same thing when I learn about cosmology, when I read about like planets, when I read about black holes. I don't understand a lot of that shit. I do not understand advanced physics or any of that, but I love reading about it, finding out about it, because the more I read about it, the more I find out. I'm like, this is just so much cooler than I thought the world was. It's so much more wondrous to find out these kind of concepts. The same thing applies to this. It's one of those categories where, like, once you start to learn and you learn about the fact that, like, it's the 23rd chromosome, and that usually determines, but not always, but usually determines aspects of gender. What is known as a sex characteristic, but is eventually known societally as a gender, is depending on whether or not you're going to be assigned. But there's so many other aspects and factors that play into that. It's not simply the 23rd chromosome. It's like there's a whole bunch of hormones that happen after a certain point in human development. Like once the fetus becomes a certain point, there is a name for this thing, and I gotta remember this name. I gotta grab my notes book. But there's a name for a thing that can develop either into male gonads or female ovaries, and that's fucking nuts. That we all start out as this kind of prototype, and then all of a sudden, based on the amount of hormones and different factors that suddenly pour into us, that we start to change. And once you develop testicles, for example, as a man, once that happens, all of a sudden a whole bunch more hormones start to pour into you that also start to change characteristics. But like all of this is fucking incredible. Like the more I learn about that, the more I'm like, that is so cool. That like all of these different factors play into things that we usually typically assign with simply one sex or another sex. That is fascinating. The fact that there is studies, there's brain scans that is done on both men and women, and it shows that trans women have similar brain patterns in these scans to cis women, more so than they do towards cis men. That's fucking crazy. That's so cool. That's nuts. I love science. I like, this is so neat. And the more I find out, yeah, I was wrong. I was so wrong my whole life, and it's so cool to find this out. And now that I have found this out, it makes the world even more beautiful. That's it. Like, learning this knowledge makes the world and the human experience more beautiful.
And what do? We fought and we fought and we fought, and we convinced America that we were right. Now, I know they're retrenching a little bit, but overall, if you do it the right way, you can win, and we have won.
Yep.
And we're going to win on this
Too bad we're in
too.
a computer simulation.
But
Yeah, fair.
not if you go over
Good,
the
Rand.
line.
Thank you.
Then the right wing will have cause.
Feels good. I feel better now. Even though I'm super depressed. Even though I'm super sad about all this, like, this has been a very sad stream. I did not want to watch TYT go down this pathway, but that makes me feel a little better. Just look at this tweet.
Final thing I'll say about this is we need to foster an environment that allows curious people to ask questions without.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. That's savage. And they say the left can't meme. That is such a lie. I'm gonna be honest. Don't get me wrong, right wingers. Y'all can meme, but holy fuck, the left can meme, and the left memes hard. And I say this as a memer. I'm very proud of my memeing skills, and I am brutal. All right, I'm proud of that. I'm brutal on fucking Twitter. I can go real hard on all you fucking assholes. This is a savage meme. This is, yeah, that's oof.
Fear of being labeled all sorts of atrocious things.
Starting at 55:26 is where they mentioned you directly. Okay, I'll watch that last.
Some people are genuinely curious. Some people don't know all the answers and want to ask questions. Simply asking the questions doesn't automatically make them bad faith actors who are just trying to trash the transgender community. I think
absolutely not. That's why everyone was so nice. That's why everyone was so good faith and continues to be. That's why my response to Jank was not fuck you or you. Like, I at no point is like, just fuck you. Oh, fuck off. You know, what are you doing? Fuck this shit, you know?
When it comes to youth gender medicine, when it comes to transgender athletes, there are areas that I think are deserving of some debate among good faith actors. And we need to be open to those conversations and open to those debates. If we devolve into acts of violence or preventing people from being able to exercise their right in speaking, I think that it's only going to do more harm than good.
By the way, the whole debate thing, I'm completely fine, as you know, with people, especially leftists, who are going to push back on right-wing platforms, media, Fox News, whatever, successfully on their rhetoric. I'm totally fine for that. And I think that's actually a good thing, and it's an important part of trying to convince people, de-radicalize people, what have you. And every single time I see it done well, I'm like, yes, I think this is an important part of de-radicalization. Let's say that. All that being said, I'm also not gonna go on my show as a leftist and then do an entire stream about, hey, by the way, I hope all of you know that we should be really opening up the marketplace of ideas to a lot of these Christian nationalists, these Christian fascists who say that maybe things have gone too far. Honestly, maybe you would do better. Honestly, you being trans people, I gotta say this, y'all would actually survive better if you followed the rules and you played by the game, kind of shit, While I address this on the Leftist Mafia, yeah. I'm gonna be honest. If I know some people have these weird theories that TYT is farming Olayemi for content and numbers, and that's the reason they're going down this route. I disagree with that take. The fact that this special has them doing this, again, that first segment about hey, we have to talk about the fact that this cis person got accosted by trans protesters and trans people really you went too far and we got to talk about that. Then we got to talk about the fact that the left, unfortunately, is doing this purity testing, woke scolding kind of shit. And now all of a sudden they're saying that we're not the one true leftists and they're calling us fascists. But it's none of that is happening. Everyone's this is the take you yourselves, if you see that clip, you disagree with. Unless you're public, that's the embarrassing part about this. Unless you're publicly denying that clip is real or that it's a deep fake or AI, I don't know. But you used to be on the other side of this issue.
You fight as aggressively as you can politically and rhetorically, but don't cross the line because it's counterproductive to our interests. Okay, kid tested, Politburo approved. You wrote a very long message about how you disagree with me, and Shane wrote a similar one that I read. So I'll just say this, okay, I love you, and it's okay, and if you disagree, it's okay. If you wanna leave, that's okay, okay? Thank you for being a member all this time, I appreciate it. But in my opinion, what your misunderstanding is, and what you have maybe you didn't see is, so all this kerfuffle starts with a simple tweet, and then at least half a dozen videos from other progressives or leftists online, all attacking us and calling us all sorts of names. So maybe you don't see that.
No, none of us did that. These are lies. I didn't call any of you names. No one did. Everyone was so nice. Everyone was so good faith. The receipts are there. For the public record, for anyone who wants to do this, go online, go on Twitter. You will see David Dole, Mike, Emma, fucking every single fucking progressive and leftist, was wearing fucking baby gloves on this one. Was just hey, by the way, just so you know, no one is actually trying to say that women can't be called birthing persons anymore. In fact, this is something that the right wing does. The right wing is actually the ones who are trying to say that trans women aren't women. So they're actually, in essence, the ones who are trying to say and redefine what woman should be. That was it.
So you think what is Cenk so upset about, right? So they call us all these names and they feel super proud about it, we are more pure. So then I fight back on Twitter.
No, this sucks. This fucking sucks.
Clean up your room.
Oh God, this sucks. I can't stress enough how much this sucks. I am not responding in the nicest and good faith of ways on Twitter because this is fucking a joy. I deleted 20 different versions of a tweet in response to you both times. You, Anna, delete, wait an hour, delete, wait an hour, delete, just to be able in the best of faith, the good faith, hey, by the way, this is not a criticism as of you as a whole, of TYT, of your history, all incredible, all based, all amazing. I just want to say that in this specific interest, you kind of got something wrong, like everyone else did. Everyone else was so fucking good faith.
And then all of a sudden they're like, how could you insult?
This feels made up. This feels like wrestling, and I'm not a part of it. I feel like we're doing wrestling right now. This is a whole fucking wrestling bit, and no one told me. I'm gonna be the weirdo who's just oh, what the fuck? You were all in on this? What is going on?
Insult us. We were just all we were doing was punching you in the face. No. That's a right-wing position. You punch, then you got to expect that I'm going to counter, right? I don't mean you kid tested. I mean for folks who are out there. Here, I'll name a name. Lance from the Serfs. He's on here all the time on the power panel, right? And he comes out and does this like video about how he's so correct and oh yeah, the young Turks, correct?
What? Are you fucking kidding me? Is this real life? Is this real life? I don't understand what's happening right now. I genuinely feel like I'm in the ring. I feel like I'm in a wrestling bit, and this whole thing was planned by everyone else, and I don't know what's going on. I have no fucking idea. I was so nice. I have not stopped being nice. I think in my discussion of this today, I've praised you, your work, TYT, and Anna, maybe like 16 times. I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna throw that number out there. 16, you know? Maybe it's not right. Maybe it's 12, maybe it's 8. I don't know. But goddamn, I've done that over and over and over. Goddamn, holy shit, what is wrong?
No, Lance, you're not goddamn correct. Nobody elected you. The polling shows no one agrees with you. You're
but you're mathematically wrong here. What are you talking about? Again, what's happening? I don't understand this. It makes no sense. This is breaking me.
Your 12 buddies online, I don't care, okay?
Your 12 buddies.
And say, oh.
Okay, no, God damn it. Okay, so the Leftist Mafia is like 6 people, and fair enough. We're all besties, and we all want to stand up for each other. So I get that part. There are so many people who are coming out of every fucking corner, like of the left. Riverboat Jack, you know, nicotine, like trans people, trans activists, like people fighting for the fucking liberation of trans people. They're screaming at you. Listen to this. They're literally screaming at you. They are screaming right now, being like, please, please, for the love of God, this is not it. You know this isn't it. Because you have said, like, you agreed with Anna in that clip. That clip of Anna having my take, that clip of Anna verbatim saying word for word, well, like every fucking lefty is screaming at you right now. You know this. Again, I gotta ask. Is this a fucking? Is this a bit? Am I a part of some wrestling match? Am I doing full on wrestling right now? But I didn't know because I would have loved some warning. I just like if someone told me, you know, hey Lance, you're doing wrestling. It's gonna be wrestling. You got to be the heel. I'd be like, oh shit, yeah, I'll be the fucking trash man. Hell yeah, I'll eat the garbage. Look at all this right wing and liberal tears. I'll do it. I'm ready. Put me in, coach. But no, like what is happening?
Oh yeah, I'm 100%. He's 99.95% correct. Oh, I'm going to correct him. No. So don't look. You want to say, hey, I don't agree with you. God bless. You want to say, Cenk, you shouldn't say anything back because you're being rude. Come on, brother or sister. I don't know what you're.
Bring me on, Cenk. Bring me onto your show. I will repeat verbatim, word for word, everything I have said, everything I've tweeted, everything I've typed. I will repeat it all verbatim on the show.
To be honest, I just don't really care to like collaborate with any other leftist ever again at this point.
Yeah, no,
you're doing the meme. It's the meme. This is the Cody Johnson meme. You did it. You became the Cody Johnson meme. Why is this happening?
No, that's where I'm at, because they come on the show, they build a name for themselves, and then they build a bigger name for themselves, trashing us as if they don't know who we are.
That's, oh my God. No. Again, this will be the 17th time I do this. I say your praises nonstop, and I'll never fucking back down from that. The shit that you and Cenk have done and accomplished, the Justice Democrats, that humbles me. That's fucking should be a blueprint. I want more lefties and more lefty creators to do that shit. Real world action, tangible results, actually affecting shit. IRL, yes, that's like again, so incredible. I'm humbled. Also, comma, you can have a bad take. I can call out your bad take, and that can be it. That can be the end of it. Like, why is this becoming a thing? Why are you doing a segment? Why are you calling me out specifically? Like, for Cenk to do that? For Cenk to straight up be like, you know what? I'm going to name names. Lance from the Serfs. Yeah, I've been on your show. I've never been paid for doing that. Do you want me to complain about that? Do you want to be like, it's kind of odd, you know, that you bring on all these people on the power panel, you know, and you don't compensate any of them for their time. They are certainly contributing to the amount of money that you get to make off your show. That's interesting. I guess they do get promotion. It's for the check marks. That's, you know, you get that part, but that part's nice. Little boost. There's a certain point where you get that initial boost from going on anyone's show. I got that same boost from going on, say, like Destiny's show. You get a plus blank because those people are exposed to you, and an X amount of those people will like you. An X amount will hate you. That's just the reality of being on the internet. If you go into someone else's show, or they put you onto their YouTube channel, or they do whatever they do on you, yes, certain people who watch you will be like, oh yeah, I kind of like what this guy's saying, and other people will be like, well, this seems like a cuck snowflake lesbian, and I need to fucking destroy him every single day on the internet. Yes. Once that subsides, and I kept going on, and I still would go on, by the way. This is not me saying I'd never go on TYT again. I would dispute this fucking ridiculous bullshit arc that is consuming parts of the left, distracting us from the shit that matters, you know, but to a huge degree, with all this nonsense. Ultimately, when it comes down to brass tacks, this sucks. It just sucks. Why are you all doing this? I don't get it. It just sucks. It's terrible.
As if they haven't worked with us, they don't know what our actual political values are. So I don't, Jake, I never want to talk about them again. I never want to address them again. It's a waste of time. There's important stuff going on in the country. Our personal drama with a bunch of leftists on Twitter doesn't matter.
All right, last thing I'm going to say on it, because you brought it up, is that I'm not the kind of guy to back down. And just constantly saying that you are correct and I am incorrect is not 1% persuasive, not 1%.
Cenk, you realize this is Trump. This is strong men. This is what they do. I will never back down. I'm never incorrect. I'll never back down from a fight. You know, I know a fight, and this is a fight, you know. Listen to other people, though, please. We all have to do this, myself included. Like, I am wrong on so much shit. And when I get called out by people within communities that I'm not even a part of, I listen. You have to. You have to. All of us do. There's no such thing as actually being woke. Woke is made up. It's nonsense. No one is woke. Not a single person. There's not a single woke human being. You aspire to be woke. All of us, we aspire to become woke, but no one is truly woke because no one will ever be woke until all of this shit is dismantled. So every single day, you have to reaffirm yourself, check yourself, and have people, yeah, it's a good thing, actually, that people who were marginalized before can call people who are marginalizing them out on their shit. Yes, this is not me fucking virtue signaling. This is awesome. It's the reality. And if your peers are being so nice to you, all coming from a place of love, again, every single one of us is straight up doing like, but I love you, ew woo, but please stop doing this. Why are you doing this? I don't get it. I don't understand. Yeah. It's just deeply sad, to be honest.
%. So sorry, that's my real opinions.
Brutal.
Do you enjoy the Serfs but prefer not to have to use your eyeballs? Many are saying this. Well, we've got the solution for you. It's the Serf Times in podcast form, available on most major podcasting networks now. If you enjoy it, please consider leaving a good review and feedback because it really helps the show out, apparently, and it's free, just like the podcast.
To our gods, Xander Corvus and Peyton L. Juste, we shall spend many a generations building mighty cathedrals in your honor. To our monarch, Tom Spiker, we are but your oafish jesters, here to offer you a laugh at any opportunity. To our brave knights of the Round Table, Rachel K., Izzy Solidarity, Victoria Bell, Sebastian Demo, Mark Harmon, Benji Arney, Scary Earth Human, Tony, DM Rivera, Resident Scarecrow, Sir Nickus, Cheryl Alvarez, Ruby Kelly, Brandon, Words Greenwood, Everything Important, Hegbert Celine, Matthew Scarborough, Stellar Vision, Ariane McCarthy, Doug Cady, Daniel Sutton, Jenna Tal, Dark Puppy, Quiet One 85, Anna Loves Riley, Omni, Riley and Anna, Poodlehawk, Multimondi, Trevbot EXE, Brian Ephraim, Anthropophojack, Catherine, Ramon Acosta, Incosin, Ralph Parler, Violent Orchard, Political Puppy, La Media Panza, Todd Buckingham, and Todd La Jeunesse. We salute our valiant heroes off to fight injustice everywhere.